7 years ago this week, swine flu fears went viral. We discussed at the time what it was, how it was spreading, where it had been, what to do. It was first described in April of '09. This was a new strain of H1N1, which resulted when a previous triple reassortment of bird, swine, and human flu viruses combined with Eurasian pig flu virus, which led to the term swine flu, even though it couldn't actually be passed by eating pork or pork products. It was similar to other influenza viruses, typically contracted person to person. By May of 2010, the number of cases started to decline, and it was determined that the strain contained genes from 5 different flu viruses, including North American swine flu, North American avian flu, human flu, and 2 swine flu viruses typically found in Asia and Europe. You remember, Lewis, when this was blowing up, and as with many of these potential spread of diseases, epidemics, call them what you will, including Ebola, it fortunately ended up being not even nearly as bad as some people feared.
Yes. If you watch TV during any of this stuff, it
Yeah.
just seems like it's the end of the world. I know why the media outlets run with it, because it's good for ratings, it's good for their income, and people watch it. But it's really harmful. It's really harmful what happens when that happens. We saw it with swine flu. Yeah, Ebola, another great example.
And since then, we saw avian flu, the H5N1 strain. Most of those were in people who had recent contact with sick or dead poultry that were infected with H5N1. About 60% of the people infected with H5N1 did die from the illness. And unlike other types of flu, H5N1 usually does not spread between people. And then, of course, in 2014, we had the Ebola outbreak, which started in West Africa. Total panic. Just about every horrible story we did hear, we heard about workers, aid workers, health workers who went to West Africa to try to educate the locals, and the locals actually attacked some of the individuals. Did that lead to some deaths even?
Oh yeah, there were many deaths. Yes, these small villages sometimes would kill an entire team of people who were there to try and help them.
And of course, we started covering that relatively early in 2014. Maybe it was even March of 2014. As we closed in on the November of 2014 midterm elections, you saw the hysteria building and building from elected officials. You saw Rand Paul going crazy with it. You saw a lot of elected officials really fear-mongering around it. And then within days of that midterm election, the discussions of Ebola in the U.S. basically ceased. There were a couple of cases, and it sort of was dealt with in the way most medical experts said that it would. And in retrospect, the irrational fear around it was nuts.
Same with the irrational fear around every other instance of, whatever disease, around immigrants, around the economy, around everything. Dave, it's all fear. Everyone's afraid all the time.
There could be a worldwide pandemic, though. I mean, it can happen. It's happened in history where huge swaths of people in pretty large geographic areas were taken out.
That is true, but we have made many advances. It's been quite a while since that has happened.
Let's try to remember for the next one, not to say that there can't be a worldwide pandemic of huge proportions. Let's just remember some of these past stories and really try to stay as rational and science-based as positive the next time this happens, which it will. There will be fears of something like this again.